My name is Max Meyberg, and this is my personal myth project. I was born in the El Camino Hospital on June 24th, 2001. As a baby, my parents said I was always happy, but I was also really messy. At the time, my family had a dog named Muffin. He was always very calm and also extremely tolerant, and he was a Pomeranian. One time, my parents said that I had yanked a fistful of hair out of him without even thinking, and they thought Muffin was gonna bite me in retaliation. However, he didn't even growl, so he was a very mellow dog. As a toddler, I had an innocent mind, and the first time I entered elementary school, on day 1, I was already excluded. I mean, this may have been because at first grade, I literally picked my nose and ate the contents inside. But now, trying to remember what happened in elementary school besides that, I thought I was bullied by my friends. But looking back, I came to realize that I just didn't understand what a joke was, as it was just plain friendly teasing. It was around 5th grade that I started getting to my first hobby, which was a card game called Magic the Gathering. I remember in Regnart that everyone was playing it, whether it was brunch, lunch, or after school. But it was as popular as those oxygels that shook and dispensed lead. Between 5th grade and then towards the end of 8th grade, this was like my go-to hobby. But soon, my happiness all stopped as I entered Monte Vista.
That sounded like hatch doors. Do you smell it? That smell. A kind of smelly smell. A smelly smell that smells smelly.
More homework.
Why? Anchovies!
Please, quiet! Is this any way to behave? Can we show a little decency and form a neat single-file line in front of the register?
Transitioning to Monte Vista was especially difficult for me. In this incredibly competitive 4.0 GPA-driven environment, there's a spike in work, studying, and the pace of academics, and it began to quickly weigh on me. And soon, it felt as if I lost my sanity. Soon enough, I began to get depressed, and everything I did felt meaningless. I abandoned what I previously saw enjoyable, such as Magic the Gathering, and began to fall into this deep emotional abyss. I would feel uncomfortable to share specifics about what happened in my stage of my life, but to avoid any sort of cliffhanger, here's essentially how I got through it.
Enough! You want Asgard? It's yours.
Whatever game you're playing, it won't work. You can't defeat me.
No, I know. But he can.
So around junior year is when I began to get myself back together, and I was finally able to manage my schoolwork along with my personal life. Most of this was thanks to my parents, who were always there to give me support and get me the help I needed. They were also the people who got my life back together. Without them, I don't think I would have been able to get out of this pit. I've recently gotten back into playing Magic the Gathering occasionally, as well as making memes, which I sometimes post on social media. I dramatically changed as a person compared to my past. However, I am in no way, shape, or form a perfect being, and far from it. I've also found several ways to cope with my emotions I previously saw as unstable, such as anger and sadness. Whenever I'm angry, I tend to tell myself to think 20 minutes before making an action. And whenever I'm sad, I have to acknowledge the fact that I'm sad and know that it's not the end of my life, so I can get control of myself. In order to gain a life of success, I will strive to seek and explore my potential through hard work and understanding my personal limits, aka procrastination. Establishing a practice of gratitude for things I am thankful for, such as our loving community in Cupertino. Opening my mind to new adventures and being mindful of the perspective of others. My core values, such as hard work, will remain constant. I will work to combat artificial barriers, such as my negativity, as my self-worth is only determined by how I see myself, rather than what others may think. Through these actions, along with an empowering attitude, both my body, soul, and mind will all connect into a triangle of power. However, seeking support from family and fellow peers will make my journey much easier. I value myself as someone who has overcome hardships but is in no way perfect. I found strategies to help cope with certain emotions I previously struggled with. But the way I'll apply my personal mission statement is whenever I feel a sense of loss, suffering is only temporary. But you will overcome it forever.
Well, this is the end.
No, it's not, Squidward.
It's not?